All right, number 4, Georgia, 13.5-point favorites against number 23, Georgia Tech. This game being played in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Yes, I know we're upset about it. The over-under I have for this one is 8 overtimes. That's what we got last year. I remember last year I'm watching this game, and I think it was in the eighth overtime when this happened. And it was 12:15 or something local time. And the local ABC, they all of a sudden go to a rocket launching at the same time. And we have to watch because we're here in Orlando. It's all of a sudden you have the bigger part of the screen. It's like a picture-in-picture situation. And the bigger part, the much, much bigger part of the screen is this rocket launching. And instead, George is just kind of quietly winning this game in the 8th overtime. Hope that I was in the minority experiencing that. But I know that, in the state of Florida, there were others that were in that same spot. Anyway, this year, probably not going to be 8 overtimes. Probably not. This is actually the most lopsided SEC spread of the weekend, if you can believe it. And that's wild considering that Brent Key's teams have played Georgia really tough. 1-score games in the fourth quarter the last 2 years. And the game a few years ago was a lot closer than people care to remember. And then Georgia kind of ran away with it middle of the third quarter. Obviously, last year, this game, the way that it played out with Georgia falling behind 17-0 at halftime, had everybody just kind of going, what in the world is Georgia at this point? And they were able to come back, and Carson Beck was much better down the stretch. That's when we got this infamous clip of Tate Ratledge kind of shaking Carson Beck into shape and be like, man, you got to figure this out right now or else we're cooked. Different vibe with these two teams this year. Georgia Tech, fresh off the devastating loss to Pitt, doesn't look like a team that can really stop anyone offensively. Georgia, on the other hand, looks like a team that is going to be really difficult for any defense to stop, including Georgia Tech, at least not for 4 quarters. I've been searching for the right Gunnar Stockton stat that shows why he's so Stetson Bennett-like. And maybe I need to stop with that comp, or at least stop until we see Gunnar Stockton win some big-time playoff games. So maybe that's not fair, so I apologize for that. But this is what I come back to. And I was doing some of my Heisman research, and I always value this stat, and I just think it means a lot. In games against teams that are currently ranked in the AP Top 25, as of this very moment, Gunnar Stockton's quarterback rating is 180.4. Among FBS quarterbacks with at least 2 such games against ranked opponents, currently ranked, Ty Simpson is the next closest at 152.5. I ultimately put Stetson on my Heisman ballot in 22 when he had a quarterback rating of 191 against 7 AP Top 25 finishers, which is just insane when you consider that Mac Jones, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, those are the only guys with better marks in the playoff era. I mean, he was so good against quality competition. Gunnar isn't quite on that level yet, and I realize until you have the championship pedigree, he won an SEC championship by coming in, but you get what I'm saying. Until you have that type of national championship pedigree, you're not going to be viewed in the same light. But it's worth noting that his 3 best games this year, at Tennessee, against Ole Miss, against Texas, the Bama performance probably looks a whole lot different too if a true freshman holds on to a walk-in touchdown that would have erased a 21-0 deficit. But, we don't need to relitigate that. With that in mind, that's why the spread is what it is, with this being nearly 2 touchdowns in favor of Georgia. If Georgia Tech is a team that looks like it peaked too early, and Georgia is the team that looks like it's peaking now at the exact right time, why go against that? You know what I mean? As much as I want to give respect to what Brent Key has built, and as much as there could be that possibility that Georgia's in a dogfight and Haynes King is doing very Haynes King things, I just come back to this. Like, if Pitt can beat Georgia Tech by 2 touchdowns in Bobby Dodd, Georgia can do the same at Mercedes-Benz. So out of respect for Brent Key, I'll say that it's only a 17-point game, but I'm going to go Georgia to win this one 38-21.